During the Second World War, the Soviet Union faced and defeated the Germans in history's bloodiest battles. To achieve success in the Great Patriotic War, the Soviets had to rely on and develop equipment for infantry, thus facing the most modern and experienced army in the world at the time. In today's video, we will look at the weapons most used by Red Army soldiers during World War II. The Mosin-Nagant M1891 rifle was one of the most iconic weapons of the Soviet infantry during the Second World War. Designed in the late 19th century, its sturdiness and reliability made it a valuable option for the extended conflict. The Mosin-Nagant was a bolt gun with a standard capacity of 5 shots. It had an effective range of up to 800 meters, ideal for combat at medium and long distances. Its strengths were its simplicity and durability, and it could withstand extreme conditions on the Eastern Front. But it had limitations. Its old-fashioned design required slow reloading and low-velocity ammunition, making it inefficient in close combat situations. Moreover, the lack of modern safety mechanisms was a risk for less experienced soldiers. Despite its weaknesses, the Mosin-Nagant was a symbol of Soviet resistance. Of millions of units produced during the conflict, the PPSH-41 subcompact machine gun, designed by Georgy Shipyhin, became one of the Red Army's most iconic weapons. Its high rate of fire and reliability in harsh conditions were vital for the Russians in the conflict. The PPSH-41 fired 7.62 by 25 mm ammunition in a 71-round drum magazine or a 35-round box magazine. It had a remarkable rate of fire of 900 rounds per minute, ideal for close-range combat, especially in urban settings. But it also had drawbacks. Accuracy was limited, especially at longer ranges, and the high rate of fire could quickly deplete ammunition. In addition, the drum magazine was heavy and could be difficult to reload under pressure. Despite this, the PPSH-41's cost-effective production and ease of use helped offset the weaknesses. It became a benchmark weapon of the Soviet resistance, with over 6 million units produced during the war. The PMM 1910 heavy machine gun was a weapon used by the Red Army during the Second World War. Originally adopted by the Imperial Russian Army in 1910, it kept its usefulness throughout several decades of conflict. The PMM 1910 used powerful 7.62 by 54 mm ammunition and was water-cooled, allowing for a continuous rate of fire without overheating. This machine gun was usually placed in fixed defensive locations or on vehicles, providing devastating fire support for Soviet infantry. But the PMM 1910 had downsides. It was heavy and impractical for rapid movement on the battlefield. The water cooling system, while effective, also required additional maintenance and could be vulnerable to enemy fire. Despite these limitations, the PMM 1910 was crucial to Soviet defense during World War II. Its ability to maintain continuous fire and suppress enemy positions was a determining factor in many battles on the Eastern Front. The Degtyaryov light machine gun was crucial to the Red Army during the Second World War. Developed by Vasily Degtyaryov in the 1920s, the DP-27 stood out for its reliability and simplicity. Firing the heavy 7.62 by 54 mm ammunition, the DP-27 had a distinctive drum magazine on top with a 47-shot capacity. The moderate rate of fire, at approximately 550 rounds per minute, helped keep the weapon relatively cool, minimizing overheating. But the drum magazine was bulky and time-consuming. Additionally, the bipod was fixed and fragile, limiting this weapon's versatility and durability on the battlefield. But the DP-27 was highly valued for its robustness and dependability. It could withstand dirt, mud, and extreme weather conditions, vital features on the harsh battlefields of the Eastern Front. The Degtyaryov became an iconic weapon of the Soviet resistance during the Second World War. The Nagant M1895 revolver was another iconic weapon of the Red Army in World War II. Designed by Belgian brothers in Nagant, it had a reputation for being reliable and long-lasting. Equipped with a 7-shot cylinder, the Nagant M1895 used 7.63 by 38 mm ammunition, notable for crimping the barrel during firing, increasing the bullet's pressure and velocity. This allowed the use of a silencer, something rare in revolvers. Although strong and reliable, the Nagant M1895 had weaknesses. Its double-action mechanism was heavy, making it difficult to fire quickly and accurately. Also, the single-shot ammunition was less powerful than the traditional ammo in contemporary revolvers. Still, the reliability and serviceability of the Nagant M1895 made it a popular choice among Soviet officers and sergeants, and it remained in service after World War II. The PTRS-41, designed by Sergei Simonov, was a semi-automatic anti-tank rifle used by Soviet forces during the Second World War. It was intended to neutralize enemy armored vehicles, a major challenge on the modern battlefield. The PTRS-41 fired the powerful 14.5 by 114 mm cartridge, capable of piercing the armor of light vehicles and tanks. The semi-automatic capability allowed a relatively fast rate of fire for an anti-tank rifle. Crucial in high-pressure situations, reloading could be cumbersome in difficult conditions, and the powerful ammunition caused rapid barrel wear. Soldiers using this weapon would target the less protected or vulnerable areas of armored vehicles, as it was ineffective against thicker armor. Despite these limitations, the PTRS-41 allowed Soviet soldiers to face the threat of enemy armored vehicles. The infantry had an anti-tank defense capability that, while limited, was better than nothing in many cases. The Tokarev TT-33 semi-automatic pistol was designed by Fyodor Tokarev in the 1930s. It was mass-produced to replace the Nagant M1895 revolver to modernize Soviet infantry during World War II. The TT-33 is loaded with an 8-shot magazine, firing 7.62 by 25 mm ammunition. Noted for its high exit velocity, this ammunition allowed for greater penetrating capability. The weapon was also known for its reliability and simplicity of construction and maintenance. But the lack of an effective safety catch in the original design was an obvious concern. While the ammunition was powerful, the ammunition capacity was limited, but the TT-33's reliability, firepower, and simplicity made it a revered and common weapon among Soviet forces. It is still remembered as a symbol of Soviet resistance during the war. The F1 hand grenade became known as the lemon for its unique shape. This fragmentation grenade was engineered to inflict maximum damage on the enemy, despite the relatively small explosive charge. The F1 contained about 60 grams of TNT encased in a thick, segmented casing. When detonated, the casing fragmented into lethal pieces, projecting the shrapnel in every direction. It was an extremely effective weapon in trenches, bunkers, or other confined spaces. But the F1 had limitations. The fuse delay time, roughly 3 to 4 seconds, could be unpredictable. This often prevented the fighter from making the throw smoothly and accurately. Despite the disadvantages, the F1 became a favorite weapon among Soviet forces. Its simplicity and lethality in close combat situations made it an essential component of the Soviet arsenal during World War II. The SVT-40 semi-automatic rifle, designed by Sergei Simonov, was a renowned weapon in the Red Army during the Second World War. Allowing Soviet soldiers a greater rate of fire, the SVT-40 was a significant breakthrough in infantry combat capability. The SVT-40 fired the 7.62 by 54 mm cartridge and had a standard capacity for 10 rounds and could be quickly reloaded via stripper clips. Its rate of fire and effective range made it a potent weapon in medium-range combat, but the SVT-40 had drawbacks. Although it was an advanced weapon, it was complex and delicate, requiring frequent maintenance and care. It was also more expensive and time-consuming to produce, making large-scale distribution difficult. Despite these challenges, the SVT-40 proved effective on the battlefield. Still, it was replaced by the more robust and easier-to-produce AK-47 after the war. During the conflict, the Soviets had plenty of work to do to modernize their arsenal while their country was under German onslaught. But the war improvements made the Red Army a military superpower. In your opinion, which of these weapons was most important for the Communist triumph over the German army?